Hey, it's the CALI GRIOT. You know, I really want to give you some good examples of controlled opposition. Controlled opposition is something that our government always does. And it's done it very well to us as black people throughout history. So, you ever seen a movie called Wag the Dog? Wag the Dog, Robert De Niro was in it. They made up a country. Our government pretended that there was a country that was at war. And they showed a little girl, blonde-haired little girl with a puppy dog in her hands. And she was riding her across a bridge, and the bridge blew up. And oh my God, we have to help those people. So there will be some natural event and or a contrived event. A contrived event is something that's created by our government. Many people thought the George Floyd murder was a contrived event to get two factions to go. One goes pro, one goes anti. So anti-police and pro-police. That's what we ended up with. And then we ended up with the black militia. Was it paid for by our government? Is that what controlled opposition is? Is that when you get some charismatic man or woman in complete opposition to our government? But they'll only go so far because they're in cahoots with the government, that in order to get the bag, they can only go so far. They cannot act independently. So, wag the dog can be done with the person. It can be done with the situation. Some people tell us that 9/11 was one of those created, manipulated situations. People get very upset about that lived through 9/11 now. Don't get it twisted. It's not very quiet, even though it's the middle of the night. This is still an Insomniac show. So, they've used opposite factions to go at each other. Does that sound familiar? How about Dr. King and Malcolm? They were both in the civil rights movement, but one was pro-violence and the other one was anti-violence. And we still got nowhere, basically. We actually lost, because when that happens, they take more ground, they take more freedoms from us, not giving them to us. That's the trick bag. Part of it. Part of it will be property, land. While we're arguing about this and that, what did they do? They totally revamped the voting, didn't they? They have us look that way. While we're looking that way, they're doing something else over here. They keep us totally engaged. How about throwing in something emotional? How about denying my blackness? Would that work? Redefining what black is in America. Was it ADOS, African descendants of slaves? Or was it FBA, foundational black Americans? Didn't Tariq just blow up the reparations movement that Yvonne, was it Yvonne? Yeah, that she had going on, her and Antonio? Or were they all opposition? See, they could throw in a whole bunch of pieces. How many pieces are on a chessboard? and which ways can they move. But each one of them has rules. You can't move out of line. So when they put you in a position, you're supposed to play your position. And if you don't, you won't be a spokesman anymore. You know how they say they break their tools? Yeah, the black voices will be tools. I'll give you another example. Remember the syphilis experiments that was done in 1938 to 1972, 74. When the Senate brought it up that we were doing human experimentation on black people, done by who? A nice, friendly nurse, Miss Evers. Nurse Evers. Go watch The Evers Boys with Lawrence Fishburne. Great movie. So, they're told that's controlled opposition. They told the people that they were going in to help, be helped to be treated for syphilis. And instead, they were being used as guinea pigs. They were given spinal taps with no anesthesia. Women, if you've had an epidural, a spinal tap is way worse. And they used that genetic material to make a cure and then wouldn't give it to them. They wanted to see how they languished in the syphilitic. That means that it eats off your nose, your cheeks. You go crazy. You hallucinate. You stop having sex with your partners. Because back then they didn't know that it became asymptomatic. You hear that word now, asymptomatic. What does that mean? That means you're just a carrier of the cooties. You have no symptoms. You're over your symptoms, but you're still a carrier. So they did these experiments. At the same time, the Nazis were doing experiments in Germany. But the Nuremberg trials happened with them. There were no trials here for what they did to us. Nobody was tried. Yeah, they went up in front of the Senate, but nothing really happened to them. They had to shut it down. And then you wonder why we don't want to become guinea pigs again? Really? So, this lady by the name of Roseanne Lindsay, I read her article and I broke it down. I kind of retold it because she's an anti-vaxxer. Maybe not anti-vaxxer, but she's a herbalist. She's a naturalist. And she was talking about the argument of the pro and the con of the vaccine and the anti-vaccine. Again, here, there's a scientific argument and a religious argument. But in a real debate, you know you can't bring up emotionalism, and you definitely can't bring up religion in a real debate. It'll become a fallacy because it's a belief, not a fact. So in argumentation, you need two premises, a premise, and a premise equals a conclusion. And the conclusion will be correct as long as you're not introducing a fallacy into the argument. All the words have to be defined so that you're talking about the same thing. Because what I think spring is, spring to you might be a spring in a motor. Spring to me is the time of the year. So we have to define the words, define the jargon. And again, the more confused you can make it, whether it's about gender, oh, who's a woman now? Can I just become a woman if I have a surgery and redesign my sexual organs or outside, however you want to say that? Does that make me a man if I reconnect something? Or is there more to it? So we get these definitions of family. Who's a family now? Is it a mother and a father? And is a mother and a father a man and a woman? And so, who's a woman? Are you just a woman because of your duties that are delegated to you by society? You cook, you clean, you nurse, that's a woman? See, I don't think you can be given that thing that makes me a woman is a connection that a man can never have to a celestial entity, the moon. Never have a connection to the moon like we do. Our whole cycles are 28 days based on the moon. So the old women would say, oh, wait a minute, she didn't have a period this month. So, wait, let's watch the moon. We'll see how many cycles the moon has. Oh, wait, she's 4 moons in. She's 3 moons in. She's in the 9th moon. Tell me you haven't heard that. But that's why I'm here. I'm going to teach you what I know before I go. Do I want to be in politics? Do I want to be an activist? Do I want to be some social media something spokesperson? No. But why am I here? I didn't come here when I had daughters. I came here when I had 2, well, at the time, 1 beautiful black grandson. And the idea of him walking to school or coming back from a game or moving about so-called freely and encountering a race soldier it was beyond me. The imagination. So fear is also a motivator in controlled opposition. How much fear can they generate? Can they generate enough fear in me to get me up and go protest? Am I going to go? You saw that little lady over there in Brunswick? Didn't she have her little walker or her little wheelchair? I can't remember what she was in, but she was there every single day. It motivated her to get up every day and go where she believed she needed to be for social justice, because she was pro-black, anti-KKK, anti-discrimination, anti-injustice, and tired of it being just us. So, another question, was George Floyd. Was that a wag the dog? Was that a created situation? The way that guy just stayed on his neck? Did he get paid to do that? Did they pay off his house? Pay off this? Pay off that? Okay, if you get 20, back in the day, it used to be whatever you got. If you got life, that's 25. Okay, you would do half of it. You do 12 and a half years. Then Joe Biden got in. Y'all, why'd you put him in? I kept putting that motivated me to start. I think I signed up to come into YouTube just so I could dislike his stuff. I remember exactly when it was. But for a long time, I just watched back. And then I wanted to like or dislike. So I had to sign up. All this is data. Who collects data? Ted Mercer. He collects data. He's been doing that since the 60s. So, what gets you up? Fear, anger. What gets you up? Mandates. So, the controlled opposition is so deep, it's in the algorithms. Christopher Wiley, the pink hair guy, is on my playlist. Go check my playlist. I've created so many playlists with so many topics to engage you. Why are you not there? I can read how many times you've been to a playlist. You've been just going to my music playlist. Check the rest of them out. And for those of you that want to talk about me coming on someone else's channel, I want to thank the people that let me on their channels. But let me tell you something. If you had met somebody, okay? Just met them. They seem nice, polite, smell good, look good, had a good car. You know. You were glad to talk to them when they called. They were glad to talk to you when they called. But now, after being around that person for some months, they get to know you and you get to know them, right? They get to know you and you get to know them. In other words, you get to know their ways. Now, I don't put up with men hollering at me. I'm going to holler back. And then when they get mad because a woman's hollering at them, I'm kind of like, boss, you started it. I'm going to disrespect you if you don't disrespect me. You holler at me, I'm going to raise my voice at you. You hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I'm going to do worse than that if you hit me. So, you get along. And then you notice that somebody's promising more than they can deliver. And maybe now it seems like they're lying. Now it seems like they had a whole totally different motivation to even be talking to you. Why did they even come into your life to begin with? So, even with Boss, I was mad at somebody else. Boss, all of a sudden, tossed him up on the screen. I wasn't expecting to talk to that man. I was already in a rage. But Boss capitalized on me and my rage and put Major on the show for controversy. He's supposed to do that. He's social media. I wasn't expecting it, but then I started saying, how much other controversy do they just manufacture? Did Delta just happen to send me something on IG? No, first he liked some of my stuff in my CALI GRIOT. That's what he did. He came up in the CALI GRIOT and subscribed. Then I started thinking about it. Boss gave me a wrench when he was mad at Delta. Remember that night he gave me the wrench? Oh, I was so excited. I got a wrench. I got a wrench. Oh, he gave me a wrench. Well, if you've been here a while and you're on my side and you're my friend, you buttered me up, didn't you? Right for the kill. You slick little boss. Boss. Y'all can say what you want to say. The old girl can hear. I heard what I heard. I wasn't going to argue with him. I know what I heard. I tried to give him an out. I really did. Think about it. You be telling all them stories. That's my speaker. You be telling all them stories and stuff. Maybe you just said the wrong thing that, covering for somebody else that wore a wire. Telling a story about wearing a wire. But no, he couldn't even do that. Give himself a way out, because you can't tell me you didn't say it. I had other people listen to it with me when I was in amazement. So whoever told me to clean out my ears are clean. Criminalization of black people. We already get criminalized by the mass media. Why would you take someone's record and use that? Oh, because you got a clean one? See, that's when you sound European. That's when they start calling us half-breeds. You don't do shit like that, boss. If the man had a bad record, why would you expose that over, dog, stop it. Hey, put that bone down. Why would you expose that to the public only because he offended you and your family? If he offended you that badly, and if it was that dire, I think two things could have happened. Maybe a few more. I don't like that. I don't like that noise. That noise just irks me. They be licking on each other and licking on bones, and I don't have no music on right now, Heaters on. And that's, yeah. Yeah, that's the ear flop too. You hear that too. So what was I saying? Yeah. No, you ain't getting up here. Going back. Go get you some water or something. No, both of you go back. I'm not playing with y'all. Go on. Go somewhere. Go lay down. So, some men, some women, when you tell me you out to kill my kid or me, and you in a public place that I can identify easily, I think y'all call it pulling up. Why would you even have to involve us? Why? Why go tattle on another platform? Why not keep it to the chest, to the breast, like you've been doing? Why was it necessary to expose Delta? Because you got hurt, scared, offended to go out and use his record on social media as a smear? Why don't you smear something else, like the way he talks? I can't understand him. And it's not Ebonics. That's part of the controlled opposition. Not being able to understand somebody clearly. What does that mean? What does black mean? Now, I sure wish there would have been a debate, but you know, I already knew OC was too slow to debate on colorism. And he doesn't know anything about it, probably. It'd be nice to have a good panel. And I think I am going to start the half-breed channel. Think I won't? Yeah, honey, just to get up under your skin. I bet you there's a lot of half-breeds out there that probably are sitting back, haven't joined in because of that skin shit. Huh? Not all kin folks are skin folks. Not all skin is kin. However that shit goes. Yeah, I'm going to do the half-breed channel. Why don't you put some comments in the comment thing and give me some ideas for topics? Maybe you got questions. Maybe you got ideas for some good titles. You know, maybe I could do a couple of little, talks on it. What floats y'all boat? Let's do what floats y'all boat. So, we're going back to this controlled opposition. Was Grandmaster Jay controlled opposition? Did he come out the woodworks onto the scene with AR-15s and whatnot and say, don't point them guns unless you're going to use them? And then pointed the gun when he wasn't going to use it? Didn't he say, if I shoot, y'all shoot? What if everybody would have started pointing up there? That's what I would have expected. But no. Secret Service, that's what he is, ain't he? Come on, Jay. I saw you at that show behind Laura Trump. One thing this old lady taught me, I see what I see. I hear what I hear. And I know what I know. I see what I see. I hear what I hear. And I know what I know. Trust your gut. The only reason I didn't want to look at that was that I was afraid I wouldn't be able to deny what I saw. And that's the same reason I looked at your shit, boss. Talk about don't question. What? Don't question your integrity. I haven't known you long enough. I wouldn't even have you. You'd have to put on protection. A lot of it. Honestly. I wouldn't even go in your house without a mask. I don't even know you like that. Trust you. Would I trust you with my life? Would you trust me with your life? Huh? Would you trust me with your kid's life? If you do, that's stupid. We don't know each other like that. How the hell am I supposed to be so loyal to any man that I haven't even known for 6 months or a year? And still don't know you if you on a screen and I'm talking to you on a phone. I'm barely learning your character. You one of them people that get pissed off and take your ball home. I wouldn't even want to play ball with you. As soon as I hit you in your mouth with the ball on accident, you'd start crying and go home with your ball, wouldn't you? You just snatch the ball and go on home. Just fuck the game, huh? Yeah, you're going to come back. You know what they call you? You know what the name of it is? It's called passive aggressive. There's nothing I despise more, really, boss, than a passive aggressive person. You held on to that bullshit and then fired. You used me by giving me that wrench, didn't you? Why? Because you thought I would back you up, right? Why? Because I'm a half-breed too. It don't work like that either. Not all half-breeds like each other. I'm not going to go with you just because you're a half-breed. I'm not going to go against Delta because Delta's real melanated. Or I have to make him tell me over some couple of times so I understand. It could be just a generation gap. Could be regional. But, no. And then what happened? Turn around and really, Delta wasn't about really helping Mr. Robinson. He was about what y'all was doing in the background. So what? I was your little toss-up, y'all. I was your toss-up. You'll toss me up, see what happens. And you want respect. Really. Either one of y'all. You pissing on him, he pissing on you. And it's getting all over everybody. See, part of control opposition is just the confusion. You think I'm confused really about who I am? I'm not. I don't need a debate to know I'm a black woman. And I just started saying this melanated copper tone. No, I'm just black. Can we just cut to the chase? So it's past. Can't we all just get along, ain't it? So, young bloods, youngsters, loved ones. I'm a griot. The same thing that they was doing in 1920s and 1924 in the United States, they were doing over in Nazi Germany, taking the property, creating ghettos. Instead of you letting me tell you what I know before I go, you want me to slip and slide in your diapers. Diapers, Delta. Don't hand me no dirty diapers, man. You wouldn't know controlled opposition if it hit you in the damn face. Joker. Joke's on you, huh? You ain't the only one. You probably don't even know how to play chess. Ha! Chess, not checkers. You might not even know how to play checkers. It's a CALI griot. I talked to you about what? Controlled opposition. Is it manufactured? Go watch Wag the Dog and come back and let's talk. Go watch, Kevin Spacey. What was that called about the presidents? I'll come back with it. Something about the White House. You remember that? Oh, man. I hate it when I can't remember stuff. Wait a minute. I know what I do. No, I don't even see my other phone right now. I was going to Google it for y'all. But it was when he was president. And it shows you what controlled opposition is. It showed you every time there was some little terrorist explosion or it was some gas station blew up, then they just blamed it on the foreign people. So it caused fear. And fear causes opposition right off the bat. You're pro these people coming, or you're anti these people coming. Meanwhile, the government's writing whatever kind of laws it wants to while we're playing in the battle of the piss ants. Controlled opposition would be throwing out an orange. We are the black ants and the red ants. Even food can be used. A biscuit. CALI, GRIOT. Peace out. Trying to love on y'all, really. Just trying to love on y'all. Make sure you come back and see me. Come on and go with me over to this channel right here. Come to my channel. Come on to my channel. Let me show you what I know before I go. Peace out, y'all.